So the idea about this is it should be something that's professional and something that you are wildly in love with, because you're going to be doing this topic for a long time. So 3/4 of the class, 2/3 of the class, I would say almost 3/4 of the class, it's only about this topic. So that's why I don't want you to rush into this and be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to talk about this because I don't know what else to do. I want you to love this thing like crazy. Okay, so relationships would be something that would come down. We'll narrow it down more. Don't worry if you don't have it pinned down. We're going to be talking about this for a short amount of time, so if you take a look at our presentation, this is something that you'll talk about for 5 to 7 minutes, so you'll narrow it down into something pinpointed when you start writing this, but this is the first process. Okay, so that's the first thing. What's your theme? And then the other thing is, can you turn this into a persuasive presentation? So first is informative, next is persuasive. The same theme has to funnel through from one topic to the next. So for example, I have music in the class over here. I may give an informative presentation about different types of classical music. For the persuasive presentation, I may try and persuade you to listen to certain types of classical music when you study, like music therapy, to try that. So that's a type of theme that should follow through. Now within that, how many of you can identify topics that you think you could use for the first and second presentation? Fabulous. Circle those. Now, I'm going to say this right now and for the next couple of class periods. This is not a full-on commitment. Nobody's married to this today. But you should be thinking about it. And when we come back to our next class period, I want you to generate some of those ideas. So come back with your ideas. You're not perfect right now. You're going to develop this. And perking, middle of the night, you'll wake up and you're like, oh, that's what I want to talk about. What didn't I think of that? Okay, so some of you that will happen. So you want to come back with those ideas on Thursday. The other thing I want you to do by Thursday is get through chapter 1. So go through chapter 1, especially the communication model. If that's the only thing you do, just look over the communication model. And that's going to be the focus of part of our lecture. Any questions about what I expect from you in the next couple of days? Okay, let's put this class back together. And let's call it a night. I'll post your YouTube link as soon as I upload our videos. Keep your nameplates and bring them, because there's no way I know all of your names. Now you teach 6 classes.
I actually work the late night shift, so my hours are 5 in the morning, 5 in the morning. was wondering if that might affect anything with this class.
How do you feel at 2:30?
Like, I can't sleep until 5, and I'm awake like 12, so I'm up and ready to be here, so.
I mean, that's a big thing, just being here, I can't imagine. Really just being here at the time. I mean, the only thing I would say is the TA or problems, you may want to do the online portion, the online class, rather than the face-to-face if you struggle to stay alert at this time, but you seem to do fine here, and I'm really interactive, so we move around.
Yeah,
So if you feel comfortable with
yeah.
it.
I do, so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing, I'm actually gonna be out of town in March for 2 weeks. And that's gonna be from the 28th of March until the 11th of April.
And we have speeches. You said 28th of March to when?
The 11th of April.
Oh, wait, 28th of March. Oh, gosh, I'm missing spring break to 11th of April. Those are the persuasive speeches. Have you had a class like this before?
No.
I,
I mean, I could push it back.
well, if you could,
Yeah.
you want to do it during spring break.
Oh, during spring break.
Because spring break is the 23rd to the 27th. We don't have class on the 20th. Oh, well, we don't have class on the 20th, and we don't have a class. So there's a week there
Yeah.
of wiggle room. I wouldn't recommend missing after that because you will miss a speech. And that's going to be detrimental to the class.
Okay. All right, then I'll figure it out tonight. Try to
Okay.
think about it, yeah.
Okay, what's your name?
Brian right now.
Okay. Yeah, if you could push that into the spring break,
All right.
then you wouldn't miss any class.
Yeah, all right. Thanks.
Oh my god, hi! Okay, so like for our topic, can like TV shows be okay, or?
So what do you think?
I wanna just like run a bunch of stuff down that I see every day, I guess.
So why don't you work on it? One of the things, the next thing is it researchable? So of course, TV shows are researchable because it has to be a scholarly type of resources that you're using. And I've had highly creative students use topics like that they've been able to work, but that's more about the students and what their original thoughts are.
Could it be like what about plastics, like not using plastics?
Well, that's already persuasive. So you can use something about plastics.
I just don't like really understand, I guess.
For this presentation, use all of this. And it may help you, it sometimes helps students just to see things differently. For this presentation, you are delivering what's called a research-based presentation to the class for 5 to 7 minutes. It's a narrowed down topic, and it should be something that's professional, which you're not choosing anything that's unprofessional, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so if you take a look at your mind map, you can see where your interests are. So one thing was TV. So if we were to look at that as a theme, that's entertainment.
I don't know if I can talk about that for 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh, certainly you can.
Yeah.
So, and then if you're thinking of a persuasive presentation,
Maybe like things I don't want other people to watch, or?
that could be a direction for you. So so it may just help if you kind of understand, if you read through this first. For some students, it's too much to go through this, and they're like, oh, I don't want to, this is too much for me. So for you, I think it's better if you just understand the assignment more. And so,
Okay.
so if you just take a look at these, also, it may help to see a couple of example videos.
Are you gonna do that next class?
I'll put them online for you.
Okay.
So that you can just take a look at them. It's too early for the majority of the class to see them because they think too much about the end in mind. But you're probably somebody that needs to see the details of it first, which is fine. I'm happy to do that for you.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.